Hello, this is Nakhti University with colleague J.N.S. And we are doing a impromptu video on I believe it's the Nolan Wells situation. I believe his name is Nolan Wells. Let me just confirm that is the name. Because, it's Nolan Wells, actually. Sorry. I have to give a disclaimer on this situation. I have to take my herbal supplements, so if you hear, there's my little herbal supplements in the morning. I have to give a disclaimer that this is going to be a controversial take, a provocative take, but I think it's one that is necessary. I think it's one that pushes the envelope of thinking and our reaction and response to these types of situations as a community. And I have to say, we talked about this sort of industrial complex of monetizing and capitalizing off of Black pain, in particular, the situations where you have the Black and white fallouts and race situations that occur, and they're not even race situations or even race conflicts. It's straight up terrorism, I'll say. But the bigger thing is like we want to bring in some nuance to these situations that get exploited for other people's gain and for other people's capitalism. Okay, so first off, the situation with Nolan Wells is obviously one that is very unfortunate. We obviously don't wish that on any of people of any race. But he, from what I'm understanding, was found in some sort of river after getting on a boat ride with three of his friends, and the friends, or three or four of his friends, and they were Caucasian, and he's melanated, and so obviously it looks suspicious. They took his phone. They found, so obviously, there's a lot of these things ramping up. We've seen unfortunate unalivings of Black Americans, even being, LYNCH. Recently, we've seen all types of things. And so what we want, if you see the situation with, what's that baby, Cohen Wiley. But what we want to discuss is like the response and reaction is what I want to study here. And what I want to analyze, this is not to blame the victim, even a situation with Carmela Anthony. You see this sort of, this very, it seems kind of orchestrated, almost ritualistic for these things to happen. And again, that's not to take away from the victim being affected or harmed or dealing with the real ramifications of racism. That's not to say that that's not the case. I'm not downplaying that. What I am questioning, though, is the aftermath of opportunists, as well as the response and reactions to these situations that, honestly, I'm gonna be honest to you, they're not sufficient for our particular situation as Black Americans. The response and the reaction to these type of situations in 2026 is not appropriate for the calamity of these type of situations when it comes to the race thing, which makes me think, one, it's a psyop, Masonic plays, somebody trying to make money, get a bag, get their name out there. And the best thing, for someone is like, say, with these race things happen, and, you have to have a GoFundMe, you have to help with the funeral and all these things. That's the best play to redo someone's brand. So you have celebrities get involved, you'll have lawyers, settlement lawyers that about the money. There's a narrative to control the reaction of how Black people respond and even what they think. And so in that regards, it becomes very suspect, as far as the reaction of response, because that's the pattern that you need to study. Same people come out, same news stories, and then same response and reaction, and then nothing changes and everybody goes back home, and then there's and so to me, the response and the reaction is inappropriate. And I'm not saying that like it's either a protest, a riot, or a celebrity involvement. And that's been the case for like probably a good 60 years. So it's a pattern, it's a time loop, it's a replay. And what I'm saying is that is highly, highly inappropriate for a situation where you become a permanent underclass. I want to say, like, my teacher was warning me, she's a female, had been warning me 10 years ago, obviously she got it from Claude Anderson, that the black community is going to become a permanent underclass in less than 5 years if we don't act, She had been saying that, obviously, you'd be shadow banned, blacklisted, all types of things. But she was correct. The black community is officially a permanent underclass. If they will never get up under this situation unless they completely demarcated from their government. They would totally have to create a whole new system on their own, a total parallel infrastructure if they want to get out of this situation. And with that comes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of thinking, strategizing, scientific minds, order, a lot of organization, a lot of structure, and a lot of good people that is willing to put a lot on the line to help people for a greater cause than they self. Now, obviously, good luck with that. You have a couple of us that's willing to do that, but for the most part, in the Black American society, unfortunately, it doesn't exist. And so the powers that be know that. The powers that be know what I'm saying is absolutely correct. Like, the only way Black America is going to ever get out the situation is they completely turn the fuck up, pretty much. And, we don't even have, maybe we'll have allies, maybe we won't. We have to bet that we won't. We have to bet that other people are programmed to be against us through their own perceived prestige or perceived programming. And so they're going to most likely fight against us when actually they should probably be helping us, because we would be the only people that know how to get out of this situation, because we've had to get out of worse situations, for one, and we would be the ones that really didn't have anything to lose. So you have some people that's outside that system that are incredibly brilliant, that are able to see it for what it is and be able to strategize on appropriate actions that minimize stress, that minimize casualties, and that minimize even getting locked up. And so if you notice the Nakhti order, the first step that we wanted to procure, that we threw out there around March, was to procure a survival safety vote of heirloom seeds, 10, 25 years, not 10 to 25 years worth, but 10 to 25 years lasting, that they can at least survive that long in a vote. Cost you probably nowhere from $40 to $100 at the minimum. If you can some people can get more, hundreds. Some people already have gardens, some people already have all these things, so it doesn't matter. Then we asked for you guys to get some sort of soil, whether that be peat, coconut coir, preferably, because it's more sustainable than peat. It's really hard to get peat moss. The production of peat moss is hard. It's not hard to get peat moss, it's the production of it. And so I was thinking more of long-term. Coconut coir is easier than peat moss for production. Now, mind you, I'm not saying purchase, I'm saying production, because we may have to produce these things. Perlite, all those things, potting soil, maybe a topsoil, compost, and again, some people got all these things. Some people make these things from scratch. Some people make their own compost from scratch, so some people's already way ahead of the game. They've been new. I've seen people from 6 years ago, 10 years ago, regardless of race, saying you're going to need it. You're going to, it's getting bad. Everybody looking at them like, get your doomsday ass up out of here. Get your doomsday ass up. But, they weren't lying. So for those of us that may have had their head in the sand, or in they were in the matrix, having a good time, having a good old funky time, totally caught up in the psyops, totally caught up in the illusion. Maybe this is their chance to hurry up and try to get on board. So the first thing we said was the survival vote and the seeds and the soil. And then if you notice, the second thing we gave out was a QM protocol. Now, we do have higher level frameworks that are more so for high level structuralists and people in positions to like the Nakhti, the governance of North America, that enterprise architecture, and then the enterprise architecture for the intentional communities. Those are out there. Those talk about, innovation, your technology, your education, your cultural underpinnings, your spiritual underpinnings. It gives you step by step what you have to do. But for this simple, just easy, quick, 3 steps for now, because, we have to take baby steps, is the procurement of your soil and your seeds, your QM defense, which is like which is like military science, and militias, legal militias, how to set that up. Like we said, you delegate one person as a leader that has experience in martial arts or military science. You pick one day out the week or more, whatever, but at the minimum, one day out the week at a certain time, whoever wants to volunteer and go out, and you guys train each other on foraging, prepping. It could be martial arts, it could be shooting range, it could be guerrilla warfare, tactical gear, how to, all types of things. And that was for QM defense for the men on their block, per block. Then you conglomerate with other blocks and join a bigger QM defense. And on top of that, you make sure there's no gang activity, no initiations, no violence. It's healthy way to develop the confidence in people for self-defense, but also practical guide and practical knowledge of self-defense for your own community, and organizing and structuring in a way where you can scale it. The biggest thing is that you can reiterate these processes from the block level, from your block to several blocks to zones, districts, and that's how you spread it out. And again, the training, they're not recording it. Phones are in airplane mode. The name of the neighbors, you trust it. You have control mechanisms to make sure that, intel is not getting out, all those things, And so the QM defense blueprint, that is the second step, because you have to procure and be able to defend yourself. Now, third step, we're not there yet. I have been told not to release the third step, but the Most High did give me third step. Along with the first step, though, I will say water procurement as well. So rainwater collection and transpiration methods, you want to know that, and then how to make your own water filter. Now, you can obviously buy one, but say for those who don't have one, these are the things that you can teach in the QM defense too, how to make your own water filter, foraging, prepping, those type of things as well. In addition to guerrilla warfare, camouflage, psychological operations, all these things, you would teach these things. So you would delegate one person, or maybe one or two, depends, per block, who has those type of experiences. And you have to be able to do at least a brief background check to conclude that is correct as far as what they're saying. If they say, I've done this, I was that, I know this, and you should be able to verify that on some level. Okay, but be smart and sophisticated in how you verify things. Don't fish for information. Don't volunteer information that could be used against you and whatnot, right? Be smart about these things. The third thing I've been told not to release yet, but these are, that to be honest, the first and the second step that they gave you, those are the appropriate responses to when a government is actively trying to make you a permanent underclass, or already has made you a permanent underclass, and then seeks to erase your history and seeks to gaslight you and seeks to fundamentally change the structure of America back to one that disadvantages you. You have to start the process of slowly backing out of that system. You don't go near it, because you're going to keep getting cut off. Okay? And so obviously we have the next step, and then after that is your physical currency. I could tell you guys that one. But these are the third step, we're not releasing yet. Fourth step would be your language and your physical currency. And then your fifth step, your curriculum, which we already, again, all of that is in a journal and chicken scratch. And by chicken scratch, that means like if someone stole my journals, they wouldn't be able to decipher what the hell I'm talking about. I only know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, we will release eventually, we have to use discernment to know what is good to deploy, and it's not the time to deploy those type of things based on what I know as far as how people, the COINTELPRO stuff that we're dealing with, unfortunately. And so back to response and reactions to these sort of race bait situations. And they want a race war. It's probably for the Alfred plan, King Alfred plan. It could be for martial law, to enact new laws, to change laws, to present a sort of propaganda. There's many reasons as to why and also distractions from Epstein files, distractions from the fact that the government is very incompetent, that they caught committing crimes against humanity, that they have been caught genociding people, that they've been actually caught doing black ops operations on their own American citizens through secret society infiltration of the government. These are all things they want to keep covered up, that it is a shadow government, that there are nefarious actors, that they bankrupt this country, trillions and trillions in debt that they can never pay off, put us in a senseless war. We've been in senseless wars before as well. That it transcends party lines, and that the little guy or that the average person is screwed, and we're on our own pretty much. And so these race things, it gets you distracted from the fact that y'all should be out there having the head of some of these people that's in power. That you guys don't realize that there's a tech surveillance state being enacted. We all know about the cameras everywhere that they putting out and all these things. And so we're aware of all these things. But the race stuff is definitely a distraction, and particularly for Black America, because Black America is the ones that is low-key. People is looking for them to get them looking for them to follow and to mimic as far as how do we come out of this situation. And the government is trying to ruin the social capital that we have. I'll say that, for one. That's where they put out the spin that Psyop. They put out, and that is that they are behind that. Like that, it's not like, yeah, we have ratchet songs before, we have all types of stuff, but to promote the act of actual crime, to tell other people, it's one thing when it's like these artists say, well, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to shoot up this, I had to harm this, I had to sell this. That's one thing. But when you're telling other people, go scam, go boost, go steal, and go scam, which are criminal acts that can land you in jail, that is where you have to, as a community, say, hell no. This is different than a rapper saying, well, I had to go and I had to sell this when I was young, and the dude came for me and I came for them, or whatever. That's totally different. You're telling people to go and scam and go and boost. Scammers, where you at? Boosters and all these things, nonsense. And a lot of people say they're not influenced by, these songs. Obviously, you could make that argument, but these are frequencies. These are spirits. Music is an angelic science. Music is a architect of formation of sound. It is the science behind sound, believe it or not. And so it is very powerful, and it's not something to take lightly. And so when you guys attack NDRE, you guys are totally out of line for that. That 50-year-old woman been in that industry for decades. She's seen stuff, she knows stuff, and they did her dirty. So she only comes and tell out, and they in the industry, and they tell you music is powerful. It's not just music. And it's not. It is angelic science behind it. It is an angelic science behind it. I can listen to things and actually see some of the spirits attached to these songs, whether they from the demonic realm or the angelic realm. You know how they go and they want to go and get Samuel on the beat and even get Lucifer on the beat, or sometimes they want to get Archangel Michael on the beat. You can feel the angel. There's certain codes that they put in these music. It is. And God does block, I won't say God, it's not a block, but like sometimes like the average human can't hear all that stuff. Frequencies of the sounds of seraphs. Like literally you can hear the codes and the signatures that they leave in their songs. The people purposely do that. I don't know. Maybe it's just something in their epigenetics, but it's happened. And once you unlock that angelic key to sound, you can hear it. You'll never stop hearing it again. So it is powerful. And people can use music to destroy a community. Make no mistake about it. They are very much aware of delta waves, theta waves, gamma, alpha, beta. It affects on the brain, how certain waves can put you in sleep state, alert state, calm state, anxiety state. And they do have frequencies that can promote anxiety and depression. And that this just the same as if you're in a calm state, meditative state. So we have to think about those things. So the psyops are real in the community. The first one is scammers and boosters, and stripping and sex trafficking. Then you got the psyop with the tricking in Miami and all that stuff. These people are a part of these cults, and these people are on payroll of people. And they, I know they scam, they plot, they have been plotting and scheming on how they're going to take me out. I'm aware of that. Even at the governmental level, I'm very much aware of that. The thing is, what's going to play out as far as this script and what we're doing with this script is it transcends anyone's life or death, okay? What is set in stone and sealed in judgment is going to take place. No angel, no human, no spiritual being, no interdimensional being, no demon can stop it. Not only that, no lesser God can stop it. And it is something that is an equation based. It's not personal. It's a math equation. This has this utility. This serves this purpose. This has this functionalism. This has no structure. This is logical. This is not logical. This is intelligent. This is not intelligent. This is creative. This is not. These are just calculations that the universe is going to do, and based on a certain tally of equations and outcomes, based on probability distribution science, is either going to rectifications, course correct, or completely obliterate itself through a black wormhole, and that's quite normal for a universal phenomenon. To be honest, it's been happening for millions of years. It's not a big deal to any evolved species that hear that. It's just like it's an equation. No one cares. That's why nobody visits this planet, by the way. Nonetheless, this situation with the Nolan Wells. Obviously, we know these are unfortunate situations. Colin Wiley, Carmelo Anthony, all these things. But notice that around election time, they always come out with these things. Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Mike Johnson. We got all worked up. I could tell you firsthand, crying. Oh my gosh. And it would make you really, really mess with your frequency. And so you get into the pattern of realizing, like, our reaction and response to these types of things is leaving us at a spiritual deficit. We're getting energy harvested. We're not getting anything out of this, and there's no change. Their laws are not changing. Black people are getting worse. Our situation is getting worse. And so why do we keep having the same reaction to these situations? Why do you think, because a celebrity pops out, or because, Ben Crump pops out, and the Mason, the Mason ritual takes place? Why do you think, like, what are we doing with this? What is the end goal with this? Are you going to turn up? Are you going to start your own nation? Are you going to do your own organization? Maybe start a nonprofit and make, and do the raise the funds thing. And so we realize that a lot of these psyops have been orchestrated for money and to generate money, generate certain level frequencies and money, start the nonprofits, get the people donating, pay family off, go to settlement, go to get your sign fiduciary paperwork to have the state or the government pay the money for harmful death, wrongful death, or whatever it is, and get you a settlement and get you some money, some sort of initiation. They always bring the same lawyer out that hasn't won a case. Yeah, it's pretty suspicious. Pretty. It's been going on for that's about 13 years now, 14 years now, but it's been going on for a long time, probably like 20, 30, 40 years. But as far as like the first case of where we could really feel it, I would say it's been 13, 15, 14 years. And so I know they get mad at me for talking about that, because this is their money bag. This is they they grift. Everybody's supposed to, be pro-black. If you pro-black, that's not your reaction to that. If you pro-black, y'all would be thinking of a parallel infrastructure and sovereignty, self-autonomy, and truly being of this earth and under the correction of universal laws. Loving each other, treating each other very well, both men and women. Emphasizing arranged marriages or regular marriage, optional arranged marriages and marriages. Emphasizing good business amongst each other. Emphasizing loving one another, not castigating your scholars, not promoting foolishness. True love for your brethren, true love for your neighbor, as you love yourself. But many of you don't love yourself. You know, you will want to see each other uplifted. You're not doing this crab in a barrel shit. You ain't trying to block somebody's shine because you feel threatened by them. You're not copying and mimicking. You're giving credit where credit is due, and you loving on your people. You're uplifting your people. And if you see a system trying to genocide your ass, you're staying away from it. You have the faith in yourself to know that you can come up with anything on your own. Anything that they offer you, anything that they do, you can come up with something superior. It may take some time. It's not going to look initially like them. And I'll give you an example. Remember when Nollywood first came out? When Nollywood in Nigeria, and they was making movies with iPhones. They was making movies with $3,500 worth of equipment with a $3,500 budget. I remember when Nollywood first came out. Them scripts was, them hair, them wigs. You know how them Africans do. It was looking rough. Nollywood movies, and they were funny though. Thank God, the Nigerians are real animated and all that. Who took the meat at the cooking pot? Remember who took the meat at the cooking pot? And all this dramatic, And then, they like to mimic Black Americans. So when the Nollywood first came out, it was hilarious. I'm not going to hold you. I used to enjoy, even though it was very low budget, like, come on. But then you notice Nollywood turned into $1 billion industry probably in less than 15, 20 years. And they were able to move from $3,500 to move up, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000. Then obviously, they went westernized and got under Netflix, of course. They always, but they didn't need Netflix. Netflix came to them. Nollywood didn't go to Netflix. So you have to think of that too. You have to remember that. That's be something that tells you that if you keep going with something, it's going to start off rough. It may look a little janky, but if you build it up, you'll have something for yourself. They have Nollywood. Same with Bollywood. Bollywood started, oh my gosh, if you guys saw Bollywood movies, in the beginning, that cheesy graphics, cheesy CGI, it was cheesy. Had little dragons and stuff, and it looked like a damn cardboard box or something in them little movies. They had iPhones too. Like Bollywood is also $1 billion industry. So when I say this with Black America, obviously I'm not saying copy and do the movie thing, but remember how you guys built up Tubi, made them, and they kicked your ass out. Built up Clubhouse, then they kicked your ass out. Build up Twitter, then they bury you in the algorithm. Build up the platforms, and just like they trying to get y'all to build up BuzzFeed, don't fall for it, guys. And then they kick you off out the platform. Do not build up none of these corporations unless you know for a fact that they ain't not in them cults. Take an oath to them people, been around for 30, 40 years and ain't say shit to this situation that we in, constantly playing both sides, constantly distracting us. Like, no, don't stop falling for these people. They on their payroll, they clicked in with their system, and they know their job is to keep you in their system and to keep you from doing something that's totally independent and on your own. So what we're saying is take a chance on yourself. You built up Tubi. That means you know how to build up something. You know how to get a fucking iPhone. Many of you know how to write a script. And get creative with it too. Don't rely on that AI to do it either. Now, if you have the ideas and you need the AI to help you come up with a pitch package, that's one thing. As long as it's your idea, that's fine. If it's your idea and you feel comfortable using the AI to structure out your pitch package and your series treatment and your series arc, fine. But you guys, you come up with your own script and just get your iPhones. A lot of y'all got them amazing phones. Them phones it got Movie Pro and all types of movie editing and all types. Y'all got them $2,000 phones, and that's your equipment. And you come up with these scripts. You find a couple of people that's trying to do something on the block, and y'all come up with y'all do y'all version of some of these cool movies. We like to see remakes of certain things and all types of just creative movies that you guys have in your mind. Kid cartoons, stuff for kids, whatever. Educational content. And so that's just for one industry. Obviously, there's other industries. But that would be a start. You have to, even on an educational level, you have to realize it's going to be rough. And you have to be okay with that. You can't care what other people think about you or what other people say about you. If you're about being image obsessed and putting on airs and about money and materialism, then you're going to fail every time as a people. And I hope you don't take that personal. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But I can guarantee you just structurally, just from our experience with watching civilizations for eons. That is, if you are worried too much about, what they gonna say, what they gonna do, and we don't move as a unit on certain things, and we don't castigate the people that are going to distract us and try to put a thorn in what we're trying to do. But it has to be a parallel infrastructure. You can't say somebody's trying to put a thorn and you pretty much kissing up to that system and knowing that it's nothing but death, knowing that it's nothing but a play, an illusion. And so you guys tried to castigate me because I'm saying, look, don't that way. You guys been getting chopped up for centuries going that way. Not even an ant would do that. Even an ant will go the opposite way, would do something different if they keep getting cut off by the same people, by the same industry, by the same engine. They would even follow a different, let's just go a different, we'll craft out a new way. Even an ant would do that. Even a bee would do that. Even an elephant would do that. So when we see humans refuse to do that, knowing that time and time again, they keep getting cut off. Time and time again, the government keeps showing you what they feel about you. Keep shitting on you to your face, and you still want to go there and act like you can reform it and act like you can redeem it or act like they're going to let you in. And they actually removing you out. They actually telling you, take these at the schools, take this history out, take this. And then they want to come and they have these weird cults that are owned by them contractually, acting like they're independent, acting like they're pro-black. And they come to funnel you back into some lower frequency stuff where you don't have any ownership or where you're at a deficit or someone else owns you, even if they're blackface, just like how the Diddy situation where they put people in these fucked up contracts. You got to watch out for that because that's the new play. To keep it going under new lens, whether that be for streamers, whether that be because they know y'all tired of drill and rap. They already know they can't do nothing for the drill because nobody's going to really purchase it. So now the thing is, they hoping they can buy some time. And so if all I'm saying is, hey guys, you're a permanent underclass now. Stop listening. Stop idolizing celebrities. Stop idolizing weirdos that's been around for 30, 40, 50 years. And we still in a situation just because they, the dominant class puts them out there to distract you with. And let's do our own thing if you're grassroots, truly grassroots. It's not, to me, I don't understand why grassroots would seek to join that instead when you're the ingenuity that is pushing the engine. Instead of taking that ingenuity as grassroots and doing something yourself. If anything, you should be pulling people out, not joining. And most of the time, at this time, we already said that they were going to get a bunch of untalented people anyways, because the system is crashed. The dimension is crashed. You can get mad about it, but it's the facts. You can look at it. You can see it. And so I know people say, well, yes, as long as we lock you out and we're going to let them in, but we're going to keep you out. It doesn't do anything to me because I already know the outcome. I'm not the best psychic. I don't know everything, and I don't care to know everything. But I have enough common sense and logic to know what is the outcome of that type of behavior long term. I already know. I already know that they're setting y'all up for ethnocide and genocide. I already know what they're doing. I already know that it's a play for something much more sinister. Them people is not playing with y'all. For them to remove 100 books out the Bible that have to intricately deal with the topic of slavery, the topic of generational curses and prophecies that literally play out today. For them to remove all that stuff and then change the equations of the Bible to be used against you. A book from Ethiopia and from the Levitical priesthood in West Akibalon in particular, the Niger area. Change the equations against you. Put some nonsense about obey your slave master, all this stuff. And it's wild. It's wild because it's like, it leads to time loops, but it pretty much gets you, the equation is turned against you, it's reversed. And so I could see that. And they at the end stages. Now, if they know they going out, whatever. They going out, they have a fate, they have a frequency, and they have to reap what they sow. But what makes you think they're going to go down not swinging? What makes you think they're not going to go down pulling whoever they can with them? Like, that's just common sense. And if they have been fighting you, some imaginary war against you, and picking you as the one that they, copy and mimic and steal from and kill, steal, and destroy, then yeah, they're going to be trying to pull you down too. And that is based along racial lines, but it's not always based along racial lines. Make no mistake about it. There are black people that are in on that play too. And you must know that. You must know that. And so the response to these Nolan Wells situations and, Cohen Wiley, in the past, when it comes to George Floyd, all this protest and black, we bring the GoFundMe's and the donation. You bring the donation. Y'all raised $600,000 for Carmelo Anthony. He still got 35 years. We don't know what that money, even what happened to that money. He never benefited from it. When I told you guys to just start a trust, when I said, well, why don't you just guys start something that is more permanent where you can earn some interest on that type of money, and then instead of helping one individual, you can start a trust and earn some interest on it and start to actually help multiple individuals, or at the very least with that kind of money, you guys get some land and start the process of migrating people, moving people around. Even if that land was in the U.S. or the Caribbean, whatever, it didn't matter. And so if you guys have enough wherewithal to raise $600,000 for one individual, and the dude still got 35, and I had said that a year ago. People got mad. Y'all love to act like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I told you guys that was going to be the outcome. I told you it was a Masonic play a year ago. I told you they were sacrificing that boy a year ago. And so, I don't know what else. To me, again, I've made my peace with this. Because I started to get in a lot of resentment, but then I realized, there's no reason to have resentment. I have a resentment because you spend 14, 15 years just producing things that I know are helpful. I've seen governments steal stuff from my books. I've seen governments try to implement things, but they know it's plagiarism. So it's if they're trying to bury someone and not bring attention to someone, then the best thing is to just ignore it, act like you don't know. But secretly, you really, really, they caught me about, I want you guys to know that the government caught me about my books in 2023 and asked for my help for military science, specifically asked, can we just work together? They didn't have a really solid plan on what that looked like or what that entailed. Because I don't think you guys realize how fallen are. Y'all look at these things so grandiose. They're not grandiose. These are, you see the way our government is ran. It is not, competent at all. You guys should see it. And so, it's not that I said yes or no. I just couldn't understand what was quite going on. That's what I'll say. I didn't understand because I'm a straight shooter when it comes to certain things. And so I don't have anything to hide because I don't plan on doing it. I'm not deceiving anyone. And so unfortunately with that situation, it was one that's based on deception. You have to realize that that's how they do. It's about deceiving people. That game, that murder reality game is about deceiving people, getting people in fucked up contracts and deals, screwing people over, making money off of people, stealing money from people, stealing inheritance, copying and mimicking people, trying to get a play off of people, trying to come up off of people. That's really all that system is about. And so what we're trying to say is parallel infrastructure-wise and alternative structure-wise, I know that we could have a superior system, even on a monetary level. Now, again, it's not going to be overnight. It wouldn't be overnight. It wouldn't even be disastrous. It wouldn't even have to be a bloodbath. People say, oh, revolution, da-da-da. No, you're simply doing your own thing. You simply realize that system is a farce. That system violates constitutional law, human rights, and universal law, and our inalienable rights by God. That system is weirdos. We see them oppressing citizens, attacking citizens. They go out. They literally hold down their best and brightest because it's a cult and it is a secret society. We see these things and we just go the opposite way. It's as simple as that. The revolution is not. Who are you fighting? Who are you going to fight? Each other? Who? These politicians? They're gonna go underground. They got what they're gonna bring the military out. That's stupid. You're simply saying, you know what, we're done. You got that. Have fun, we'll do our own thing. And now if they come attacking you, now you do your best to defend yourself. And that's where QM defense come in, that's where GIA military science come in. But as far as just mounting an attack, what would there to be attack? You know that system is parasitic. It's narcissistic, it's parasitic, it's unintelligent as well. And so your only bet is just to go do your own thing. Organize and structure yourself on a grassroots level for your own thing. You know that these people just want energy. These people are image obsessed. One group of narcissists replacing another group of narcissists. People that's obsessed with fame and fortune. They don't have the talent to even get it naturally. They wouldn't get it naturally. They don't have the talent to influence naturally. They have to rely on that algorithm machine and on contracts and on people pushing them up and manufactured stuff and then oppress the good shit. Or be stealing from other light sources that actually have natural sauce and natural ability to influence. We all know the game. That's why I said, well, why would I have resentment? I see it. It's a sickness. That's a mental sickness. There's a spiritual sickness. And so, you can't really get too upset about that because, for one, you have to know it's an illusion and you have to bring yourself to a higher world. By that, we're talking about a higher world in consciousness, a higher world. And you have to do that by going through the frequency machinations, moving from anger, from resentment to courage, to willingness, to acceptance, to this space of peace and joy and self-acceptance. Working more so on yourself is how you get out of that. That's pretty much it. Because you're already the star, you're already the sauce, you're already the light. So you don't have to, that's where you start. And that goes for anybody else that this is happening to. You think there's so many other people affected by this, by the monitoring, surveillance, stealing, copying, people plagiarizing you, every little thing you do, people copying you, wanting your identity, wanting to be you, envy, covetousness, coveting. Stay away from that spirit. And you be thinking that, you would idolize these people. A lot of them people you idolizing are coveters. They're covetous and they're envious. You don't want to be around them type of frequencies because you don't know who you are, what light or aura is radiating off of your head and off of your body. And motherfuckers want you. They copying you. They want to be you. And it's not coming from a good space. And so how you get through that is you start from the center of knowing who you are and embracing that, but also just at the very least, even in the moments where you get depressed or sad, just keep going. And you do that by that constant reiteration of the love factor, not just love of the self, love, that aspect, but the love in a sense of the higher worlds, the great architect of creation. You see all them trees outside with all them fruits and veggies, and you see that is a beauty that has a quality of value that brings a sense of joy. When you look at some of the just rawest creation in its form on this planet, and it's a spirit of gratitude that you have. That gratitude will get you through and help you find that inner peace. Because that world is an illusion. We never even saw some of these people in person. For all you know, those could be robots, AI, anything. Some of these people we have seen in person. But a lot of these people, we have not seen their ass in person. So we don't even know if they real. But when you look at when we think of the term of worship, it actually means worthship. What is worthship? What is the quality of a thing or the value of a ship? When I mean, that's talking about a literal ship. But that is what, when you look at this, my recorder got cut off, so I had to restart it. What I'm saying is when you see the beauty of a ship, this is like the state or the condition of something in its rawest form. How do you assess its worth or its value? That is, the term worship is a Kemet word. It comes from Kemet, and it does relate to value and worth. Now, when we say, people think of worshiping some god, some narcissistic god that's up there that's getting off on all of our worship. No, we're talking about the grandiose of what the state and condition we find ourselves in, of the unknown. We don't know how, we look at the earth, we see these oceans, we see that big ass ocean, you see them trees that grow mango and papaya and grapes and all these things, and you look at it and you're like, that is a state, this gratitude. That is what, when Hebrews and Cometians are talking about worship, that's what they were talking about. Wow, you look up at the universe, you see a bunch of stars, you see the sun. Wow, this sun is you see if you position certain things a certain way with the sun, it grows, or, oh, wow, if we put these plants here, it grows. And that puts you in a state of gratitude. When it rains, oh, wow, and that is this state of quality. These things have value. Some of the elements of the way this earth works and the way nature works and the way what we call God works, it has value. And so there's gratitude for that. And that's really the heart, the core of it. Like, oh, wow, when we look at the sun and the moon and the birds of the air, and all, you start to see like, wow, this is a really fascinating simulation at the very least. And the things we don't understand, we seek to understand, and we seek to remove the bomb of ignorance, and then you start to get into these qualities of well, who am I? Who am I? Why are we here? What are we doing? And all those things. But after you secure your sustenance, of course. Nonetheless, for situations like this, as far as what I would tell Black America is, be careful with your energy. Be careful what you're lending your energy to. Look at the players involved. Look at the cults involved. Look at the patterns. And you'll start to see. Remember, pattern recognition comes from my book, for targeted individuals, military science. Solomonic. I think it was in my last book. And there's a part of the triangulation discernment method is pattern recognition. That does not come from AI. I have the proof that I came up with that term because as a military scientist, we were developing techniques to undo or to detect undue plausible deniability, but detect covert harassment from COINTELPRO that I was dealing with and that we know other target individuals are dealing with, particularly cyber gang stalking, proximal noise campaigns, smear campaigns, all those things. We wanted people to develop a systematic method for detecting that. And pattern recognition is one of the key things for triangulation discernment method in terms of collecting evidence. So that is my research. If you see people using this term pattern recognition, they're plagiarizing it from my book. And we have the Google Doc, the history versions of the terms. I wrote that book. I mean, I think I wrote like 100 pages probably in like a span of 2 weeks. I was pissed. Something triggered me. Like I was in a situation where I got really upset. And so I just went mad and just writing, and coming up with that right on the spot. And there's a raw document of that. Obviously, the spellings of triangulation is wrong, and some of the grammar. There's no the grammar is there's no commas and periods where they should be because it was just me just gone. But you'll see if you see the raw. I actually released it. I'm pretty sure Black American has one of the raw forms of it. Actually, I know they do because somebody asked me for it some people asked me for it behind the scenes. You'll see this thing called pattern recognition. So then I went and edited it and edited the whole script for proper grammar using the AI tool, which I probably should just stuck with Grammarly. But I didn't feel like paying for it, That's why I didn't feel like paying for it. But nonetheless, that term pattern recognition that you see out, it comes from that book, okay? For targeted individuals, military science, triangulation discernment method, and reversion intelligence analysis. These are terms that we want every Black American to learn, and particularly if they are in the Nakhti order. And again, Nakhti order is just loose, informal for now. The higher levels, there's no oaths, there's no initiation, no abuse, no hazing. The higher levels of that is not released yet, but also that is more formal member based, but I'm not even concerned with that right now because there's more critical things to think of. Excuse me. Then like maybe I have that wrong, but in my mind, it seems to me that putting out some of the basis of civilization building at a very minute level and getting people primed for that is important. When I'm a macro thinker, so I can't think in the lens of like, oh, we're gonna just be down fighting, and we're gonna be fighting Africans, fighting Caribbean. Like if we're, I can't think of those type of things, or we're just gonna boycott this and then that's it. I think at the level of empire, And so I know that you need to at least have relationships to procure raw materials, if not supply and chain, but supply chains. To be honest, you could work around that at a very basic level if you have relationships for raw materials. And obviously that's where a Keep line comes in. And so that may make people uncomfortable for me to talk like that, but that's a vision, you know. But what I wanted to do is give people the vision of what it means for us to have our own autonomy and sovereignty and communities that are functioning filled with love. Love between your neighbor. Love between a man and a woman. Love between man, woman, and children. As far as what we prepare for our children. What we leave for our children. I don't even have children, by the way. And I guess people say, well, you just worry about yourself. Everything is about the self. Everything is, we get your money, get your bag, and everybody just be quiet and shut up. And what we're saying is just kicking the can down the road. It's only going to get worse. Just like how other generations kick the can down the road and millennials are screwed and Gen Alphas is screwed and Gen Zs is screwed. You know, Gen Zs, they work a little more. They're a little more materialistic than millennials. So they'll at least will work a little bit more. Millennials are just, we're awakened. So we know that system is too much of an illusion, and we burnt out early because we did everything correctly, and we burnt out because there was nothing there for us. They were picking and choosing losers. I remember a lady had told me the government picks and chooses losers. And I remember she also said, now she's out there trying to do genealogy, Black American genealogy. Be careful, because a lot of that is to try to see who is certain bloodlines so they could kill you. Yes, is that serious? How do I know that? Because that same lady literally said to me that they took an oath to make sure that the Negro never rises. I guess they thought I was a part of their clique. So they literally was just discussing this right in front of me. They took an oath to make sure that the Negro never rises. And this is a quote unquote Black American. And we've seen them do it. I mean, I got recordings of her getting cussed out by almost every faction of Black America. Moors, Hebrew Israelites, American Indian, ADOS, FBA, all these factions of Black America cuss her ass out. Regular Black American. People that say African American, even freedmen. We see, I have recordings of this shit. Even the ones they say Negro, every single last one, cussing her out fiercely, young and old, male and female. And I still can't see it. I told y'all to your face that this lady said she took an oath to make sure the Negro never rises. I also got some paperwork. They went and the CIA covered up a bunch of her intel and wrote her out as somebody that's, about the family and about the Black man. I'm like, weren't you a lesbian? Like, what the fuck? And they tried to make her come acting all poor and all this stuff. And like, she's extremely privileged. You're not poor. And they scrubbed the internet of certain things. But I think I have one document where I can I don't know if I'll bring that out. I would have to be triggered. I would have to be pissed off. Like if I see a play or a psyop, I'm going to show y'all this document where it literally, I'm going to stop talking. I'll just say it literally alludes to her working for Lucifer. If we're talking about in a magazine article, y'all, that literally alludes to her working for Lucifer, going out to look for what they call fallen stars, which means fallen angels. But they're talking in code. But I wanted y'all to see the code. I want y'all to see how these elite groups work. It's right in front of y'all. These are Black Americans. Like y'all thinking that, I'm telling you, not everybody is from the hood. We struggle. That may be our story. That may be, and then we got lucky. Sometimes we were in middle class or working class. I lived in middle class. I lived in working class, and also lived in the projects. Even as a kid, I lived in the projects. Okay, before I went to foster care, and so like we may be familiar with all of that, and we're not one to make it seem like, oh, you're not down if you didn't struggle. We don't care. Like, I'm not one of them people. I'm not one of, I embrace people based on their character. Pedigree sometimes matter to me because mindsets are important, but their character, what they about, what they value, their principles, what they stand on. That should be how we look at each other. Not oh, you ain't been through nothing, or you broke, or you this. I don't think like that. So we have to expand our consciousness on that and not try to, put people in the box, I'll say. So I didn't say that to put people in a box. They came around me because I guess they thought that or maybe I don't think they thought. I think they knew exactly my upbringing. I think they plotted on me. 14 people came around me that were part of that engine and industry. And it was a betrayal thing, pretty much. It was something deeper that it wasn't. And I was warned by some Black Americans, thank God. One or three Black Americans came and told me that that's not what you think it is. You need to, you know, they talking about Satan. You know how Black people get. That's that they trying to sacrifice. They say, I mean, looking like, what is you talking about? At that time, I really thought they were crazy. Like, what? And they said, what's the price of your soul? It's priceless. And no, you took the oath. And I'm like, I ain't take no oath. I'm thinking of the diaspora. My ass was thinking about the diaspora war. Somebody came to me trying to get intel from these people, about these people. In my mind, thinking like, oh, those are Black Americans, and you're not a Black American, so I'm not telling you none of their business. That was literally it. But since they knew more intel than I knew and who these people were, they assumed, oh, because they knew, they said, them people, you know, oh, did you took the, and he literally accused, you took the oath. Oh, you took the oath. Oh, what? I'm literally in my head, like, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm pretty sure, like, NSA got recordings. I'm looking like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, and I guess, like, in their mind, they would think that, because they already aware of all this stuff. I wasn't aware of shit. So I'm thinking, like, no, you was arguing with Black. This was my mindset. A kid, let me talk about, like, I'm 29 years old with a mindset of, you know, immature. That's a very immature state of mind. I'm still not on game. I'm still thinking, you was in a room talking about Black Americans, and you was not letting us defend ourselves in the diaspora war. So in my mind, you can't be trusted. Meanwhile, he's from talking about a whole nother level of game. Like, yo, them people, man, well, the soul is priceless, and you better keep that and remember that. And them took the oath. What? I said, I ain't taking no oath. So he's like, well, why are you not telling me that, you know, he looking for, you know, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, those are Black Americans that's fighting for reparation. And he looking like, fool. And then another Black dude had to tell me, that ain't what you think. That ain't nothing as it seems. He said, they're looking for a Satan. That's Satan. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, and I think that so-and-so is an agent, and I got to lead them people. And he said, you still going to stick around? I'm telling you that someone, and I said, damn, what is he freaking out about? Then another lady, it was weird, y'all. It was weird because they all ended up, all 14 of these people that came around my ass ended up around that dude that I called out. All of them. They all came around me, though. They all put me in back channels. I didn't go around them. But they all ended up on some level working for him or working with him in some capacity. The dude that I called out, that I found out was like, that I suspected was gang stalking and doing weird COINTELPRO stuff even with me. Because they identified people in Black America who don't have paperwork or who they won't be able to control easily. So unfortunately, I was one of those people. And so, and again, if I had these things wrong or whatever, nobody came out and corrected it. So I could only assume that based on the patterns in the triangulation discernment method I had to conduct, and reversion intelligence analysis that I had to conduct, that at the very least, at least 20 to 50% of what I caught was correct. And I think it's a lot more than 50%. But at the very least, there's some truth to what I am saying. Even if there is some room for misunderstandings and maybe even characters that didn't have anything to do with it, on some level, just from what the evidence looks like, the evidence. Could there be government playing people against each other? Sure, I can consider that. That's what I was hoping for. Because you don't want to think that your own people move like that, you know? You don't want to suspect that Black Americans will be moving like that after talking all this pro-Black stuff. But unfortunately, guys, you guys have to wake up. Yes, is a group of people that go around trying to get people in contracts and deals and get themselves out of deals. And they don't mind copying and stealing your shit. They don't mind selling you out. They don't mind. They're about money. And that's just what you have to understand as a people. Stop looking for a leader. Stop idolizing people that you know that is out in algorithm, because it's by design. So those people are being put out to distract. Now, you can look at them for entertainment or maybe intel, like if you're looking at something, watching something, or if you enjoy something, but to put so much stock in it and to think that these are the appropriate people or appropriate responses or appropriate reactions to situations of ethnocide, genocide, economic destabilization, spiritual warfare, energy harvesting, psyops, attempts to blacklist, attempts to stratify society even more for imperialist benefit, to think that marching and protesting is the answer, or throw up the lawyer and legal fund for one person, or even riot, and to think that those are the reactions, or to donate to one person who's grifting like that. You guys have to grow up out of that. That's all I gotta say. You guys have to stop, idolizing. Oh, a celebrity came in and said they're gonna pay for it. And it's like, what are we doing here? Y'all don't see how this is energy pools? These people are just obsessed with image. I'm telling you, it's a spiritual sickness. Once you can see it, you can't unsee it. And I hate that. So the best thing, if for the others that can see like what we're talking about, a lot of them don't even watch social media anymore. They don't watch the news. They don't watch nothing. But for some of us that grew up watching it, and you kind of just, looking to see what really right now, we just trying to understand phenomenon. Like, how deep is this? And for what purpose is this? What utility does this have? This has no utility. Like, this has zero utility to universal consciousness and expansion of awareness, self-awareness, not only in a technological sense, but in a spiritual sense, but certainly under God. We're talking about like planetary alignment, like you want to get galactic or whatever, but even just spiritual, just in a very spiritual level of logic and intelligence, serving no purpose, none of it. And so there's some severe consequences to that. That's just common sense. That has nothing to do with, oh, you need to be punished, or you going to hell. They're not talking about that. We're talking about, it's just logic. It's like, this is backwards, and so something is going to come and correct itself, whether that just be nature. You see all these lightning strikes. You see all these solar flares. You see all these heat waves. Who do you think is behind it? You see all this stuff popping off. Motherfuckers dying by lightning, getting struck by lightning. Thousands of people being dead by a heat wave. Radiation, all types of stuff going on. See this system falling right before your fucking eyes, and you're gonna run towards it to prop that shit up? No, we gotta start doing our own thing. But we gotta be calculated, because they're gonna be trying to use our energy to keep their shit up, to distract people. If that means, you see how much they copy me, even if that means copying someone. So that's why we don't give out all the blueprints yet, because that has to lag. My thing is, I know that system is about death and destruction. And the same people that caused it is not about to run out and do anything different. It's about power and control for them. And so if Black America's going to do something, they're going to keep trying to, the thing is, they want niggas. They want y'all soul. They want y'all going to that underworld with them. So Black people, unfortunately, they're going to have a schism itself. And I want to tell Black America that, because maybe this would give the opportunity for people to get their shit together, including myself, right? That goes for me too. There is going to be a schism, huge, massive schism of Black people that want to go to that higher world, and to the Black people that are going to fight to stay at the bottom and protect that system, the satanic system, low frequency, low vibe, copycatters, plagiarizers, low vibe, destruction, promoting crime and criminality, promoting violence against each other, and actually conducting violence against one another, defending, no accountability. There's a group of Black people from all socioeconomic statuses that is tired. They see it. They ain't looking to do respectability politics with white folks, none of that. They want to see the Negro in action. And by that we mean the social capital that our ancestors spent hundreds of years building up, of power, of resilience, of ingenuity, and continuity of light, the passion, the fire of invention, innovation, creativity. They want to see that thrive and be the star that it is. And for us to, have that that sovereignty, the vision that the Most High has for the tribe of Judah, and the vision that the Most High has for righteous motherfuckers, or people with pure hearts. It's not even about righteousness. Just a pure heart. A pure heart means somebody that's willing to learn, grow, self-reflect, do their thing, mind their business, be in tune with nature. That's all. A pure heart. There's a group of us that want to see that vision. It don't have to be no big, grandiose thing, but we want to see it. And so there is going to be a schism. In Black America, you must prepare for that, and you're going to have to enact that. White folk ain't going to enact it. Ain't nobody changing for you. You can't change people. You can't control people. That's going to be on y'all to do. It ain't about pro-Black either. This is like, these frequencies want to mingle with these frequencies. And if other people don't like us because they're having grown and they're evolving, they're race obsessed, they say they don't like Black people, fine. But we have to go to the higher worlds. And we're not letting y'all drag us down, whatever that bullshit y'all doing. Y'all trying to break our will to live. Y'all trying to break our spirits. Y'all jealous as hell of us. And so we got to keep it moving. We got to keep it... Deuces. That's what you got to say. Deuces. And when you come together. And so they isolated so much of the children of the light that we have to work harder just to connect, unfortunately. But it can be done, and it will be done. But we do have to work harder to connect. And so whether that connection happens is really no consequence to me, because, again, this is individual work at the end of the day. What's most important is that we become integrated within ourselves and united within ourselves to be whole from all of, like, and remember the Nakhti philosophy in 2020, we talked about, there's a chapter on fragmentation of the soul and fragmentation of the mind and what systems and what trauma does. And so there's a way, what we're working on is reducing that fragmentation within the self. And in a collective sense, you can do that, but most importantly, start with ourselves. And so that, for those who didn't know, that's a chapter from 2020 in the Nakhti philosophy on fragmentation of the soul and what, unfortunately, mind control can do to people. And a lot of people most humans are affected by, whether it be subtle forms of MK Ultra. You can probably find a video from Phil Valentine from, I want to say, probably 60 years ago, talking about the subtle forms of MK Ultra, and that it's in the schools, it's in K to 12, and then obviously you have monarch versions of, you have whole high level versions of different things, and the COINTELPRO version, and then how it morphed and how they said they got rid of it in 1970s, but all of that research and all of that data and money just went underground, particularly with cults and secret societies as well, because that particular research was based off of occult knowledge. MK Ultra is based off of occult rituals, guys, and the way you understand the mind. And so you guys already know that for the most part, I hope at least. But yeah, it's subtle. So everybody is affected by that, and everybody has had their soul chipped at. Somebody have tried to dim our lights, maim our souls, and we're fighting against that, including myself. This stuff has been happening to so many people. And so what the Nakhti philosophy is seeking to undo is the inner work for ourselves. Now, they came hard at me. They did come hard at me heavy for putting that out, but it was a part of my soul mission. God allows that. We're talking about undoing mind control. We're talking about soul fragmentation. People have been through victim abuse, spiritual abuse, childhood abuse, and so it's like, damn, I'm thinking in my head, like, how do I get through this? So it was a book that started in 2016, but actually I wrote it out in a paper. I actually still have it made, one of the journals of the Trick and Scratch. And then I decided to write it out with the pandemic because I had a lot of time on my hands. And I mean, it was a pandemic. Like, what else are you going to do? Work on something you put off. And so I said, let me get these books out. And then, like, the Queen Mothership and stuff, has stuff been written out since 2016 too. And the Law of Gender was 2016. And I said, and Nakhti Self-Redox, Black women, that was done. That was around 2018 too. And I said, well, let me stop hauling ass, procrastinate, and then get some of this shit out, get these ideas out. And it's 2020. There are no, everything's online and all these things. I said, and I never really recovered from that little COVID stuff. Not the disease itself or whatever it was, if you could call it that, because I don't think they ever, I honestly think that was a psyop too. But the whole program itself of stay inside, 6 feet apart, and all this nonsense, that was a form to get us kind of isolated then, and I didn't catch it. I didn't quite see it. So that was already a program to mess up the way we interact with each other. It started then, and a lot of us didn't recover from it. How many of us still isolate, and how many of us still kind of stay inside and all these things? Maybe that's a good thing now because it's real dark out there. You see what happened to that girl, Dreamdoll Bree. Lord have mercy. And R.I.P. to her. But, you know, like how the situation with her, you know, totally unfair. But equation-wise, anyone could have saw that happening. If you saw, for those who could see spiritually, they could see like, damn, she around some dark shit. And she ain't not protecting herself. She's too naive. Anybody could saw that because that was a setup. I mean, who has an insurance policy on her? She just had a song called Bend Over. The song was baffling, to say the least, but she had a song called Bend Over to take all the D. And, you know, was getting some buzz, and you don't know who got an insurance policy, who she was signed to, and who is watching, and you got some, I mean, these people are watching. If you influence her like that, and you getting these type of, ain't nobody getting no 400,000, and you don't got no handle, and you got nobody that's watching, reporting on you, and you don't know what kind of, Bend Over about to make, we can pump this up. She owns a certain percent of the royalties. She's going to be expecting some sort of royalties. Not only that, you know, maybe there's other things she's working on. This page is generating this much, but the handler's technically over the page, and she not know that. She may not know that. She may not be aware of what she signed. Yeah, they do insurance policy. I bet you it's an old-ass white dude behind her somewhere looking at the young-ass kids and, you know, making boatload money off of them. And having people monitor certain people. So it's like, okay, where's she at? You know, They have people texting and watching you at these parties. She at the mansion party. Hey, we turned up. Oh. Playing with a girl's wig that they just jumped. She playing with their wig. It's twofold. It's a lot of things going on. Because what I saw spiritually, I'm like, you don't know the protection that girl has, that they humiliated and jumped and got her braids all out and beat up. Now, she didn't have nothing to do with that. They say Dreamdoll Bree didn't have anything to do with that. Maybe so. Possibly so, but she was playing with her wig to humiliate her on camera. It's on camera. She's playing with a wig, and next thing you know, these things happen. You don't know what type of ancestors protect. You don't know what kind of psychotic ancestor someone have. Ancestor could be someone that's very protective of them, but also psychotic. You have to be careful with that. Okay? So they don't care if they put a play in, a higher level play, and one alternative reality, that's a play. An alternative reality, you got insurance policies and people want to make money off of you and sacrifice you. That's a play. That's definitely a play. They definitely sacrificed that girl. But then you also got the spiritual play too, where the equation-wise, she humiliates someone and knowing this girl got jumped. She ain't asked, are you okay? Oh, here's your wig, baby girl. Here's your wig. Oh my gosh. Like, you didn't deserve to get jumped. No, she was dancing with it to humiliate her. There's how do I say this? I'm not going to speak ill of that right now. There's a certain frequency that comes with that. There's a certain frequency of a character that would do something like that to another woman. I'm going to dance with your wig. You beat up. You clearly. Now, she laughed it off, but that's humiliation. That's like somebody that knows somebody else is getting assaulted in another room, and the woman is just laughing about her just sitting there and not helping. That's the type of spirit, the energy behind that. It breeds a certain set of rawness, spiritual malediction, so to speak. And the girl may be laughing, but you don't know what kind of, even just her anger or the humiliation in that point, and then an ancestor watching, or a psychotic ancestor at that. Some people have psychotic ancestors that are very protective of some of their people. Okay? One of my ancestors, I won't get into all this, but Nero. Philippe Augustus Caesar. That's like some of these people are psychotic. You don't know who these black, even this black girl, what is she related to? Vlad the Impaler or something? Or, Julius Caesar or something. It could be anybody, black or white, whatever. That's her ancestor that say, I don't like that shit. I don't like how y'all jumped her. I'm about to light it up. I'm lighting all y'all asses up for that shit. I don't give a fuck who. And they already psychotic. And so when they see you do that to their peoples, They gonna get at your peoples. You know, whoever. I don't think the girl deserved that. I don't think Dreamdoll Bree deserved that, to die because of that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she was in the devil's den. And you could feel it clear as day just from 5 o'clock in the morning. You see the cars, you see the money, you see the guns, you see all the loudness, you see the fighting, jumping. You see it. Who wants to be around that at 5 o'clock in the morning at 21 years old? I mean, I was shocked. I'm like, damn, at 21, I ain't gonna hold you. I was kind of, much more mature than that. But, these 21-year-olds, they're like 13-year-olds. I was doing that stuff at 17, 16, 18. I had grew out of that probably around 17 years old. I ain't gonna hold you. Because I started early. So at the time I was 21, I was totally, that was boring to me. That would not be appealing to me at all at 21. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, that would not have been appealing at all to me. No judgment. I'm just saying, like, because it's a different time now, But I'm just saying, at 21, I'm like, that would have been my cup of tea. Because that looked like something that we did at teenagers, but minus the guns and the money. We ain't had no money. We ain't had no guns. Okay? And we didn't have no cars. We had cars, but it wasn't not them type of cars. It was like Kias and Fords and okay, but no Lamborghinis. So they in the devil's den, man. I mean, come on. Ain't no spiritual protection in that. It's unfortunate. And then you hear this song called Bend Over. Music, it goes straight to the throne of the creator God of the universe. Not only that, but the prince of this world too. It goes to the prince of this world. Lucifer is getting tired of y'all shit too. Now, yeah, they say they're going to throw him in the pit. Whatever. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I'm telling you, the prince of this world is also, he's disgusted with a lot of the people that took the oath to him. But then, but then you got the creator God of the universe, watch that song go through. And I could tell you right now that Lucifer, that archangel, and we don't have a good relationship. I'll say that. But he has made a deal with God to protect me. That's between them and God. We don't really interact that much. Not as much. It's weird, but they have a deal to let me rock, to do what I want to do on this planet. But I'm just letting y'all know. Even a song like that, just like that, Spin That Song and Bend Over, the energy, they look down, he's looking down on that stuff, y'all. I know some of these people took the oath and they Luciferians, but even that is too unintelligent for that being. I'm telling you, there's a difference between Lucifer and Satan, which I already told y'all. It's a difference between Lucifer and Satan. And y'all singing to Satan. Y'all not even making music to Lucifer. And it's getting castigated. It's getting cast aside. It's like there's a group of angels, right, that are on this planet that work for God, and they have decided to turn certain generations over to Satan. And it says this in the book of, I believe it's in the book of Hebrews or Philemon, where it says, and I could have that book wrong, but we do know the author is Paul, right? Or whoever this book is, so you might have to look it up. But it says, let's turn them over to Satan so they'll learn not to blaspheme. When an angel or chieftains decide to do that, because sometimes the chieftains are hybrids, but if they decide to, they literally, like when he said, we just turned them over to Satan because they have to learn the lesson. This is what's happening in Black America with certain factions of people. I can get mad at it. They could throw stones at me and hate me. But I'm telling you what these angels are doing. Y'all see that stuff with Ozempic. Y'all see this stuff, that the lizard venom with people who practice vanity. See, people who practice gluttony, they get theirs naturally because they're going to die from eating too much or whatever. They have emotional issues and all types of stuff. But the people that practice vanity, they get to hide how vain they are, how narcissistic they are. So even a fallen angel, and an angel is behind putting that lizard venom in that Ozempic stuff y'all guys use, and notice they have to keep taking it. So that lizard venom is something that would take them out within 45 minutes. You would normally die from that. But imagine solely injecting yourself with that, and it deteriorates your bone mass, deteriorates you for vanity. And you have to keep taking that shot, so you slowly killing yourself. And they allowing them to kill themselves. That's how treacherous these angels could be when they turn you over to Satan. And they have the court case and the clearance to do it. And get mad at it, but it is what it is. You can get mad at it. I don't even have nothing to do with that at all. That's a black man angel behind it, just so you fucking know. behind that Ozempic lizard stuff. Now, obviously, you have these scientists, and they say it's a synthetic form of the GLP, of the thing that's in the lizard venom. But what you have to understand is you can qualify something as synthetic, but still use parts of it. So it's a DNA recombinant. So they probably remove something out of the chain of the original venom, but it's still technically lizard venom. But now you can classify it as synthetic. You see, and so yeah, they have science. You see the white scientists work behind. Oh, they're putting it out. Oh, and get your GLP shots, get your semaglutide or whatever that is. And you will lose the weight. That's the human version. That's the illusion version of what you see. I'm saying spiritually, that is a bigger play. And notice who's getting attacked by that: the celebrities mostly, and then anybody who's practicing vanity. Now they say that it was for diabetes and all this stuff. You don't need that. Look, we ain't getting into all of that. But I'm saying, notice what you see, these people with these skeletal, that it's poison. They literally injecting lizard venom poison in them. And that's him saying, y'all lizards, y'all not Nagas beings. Those are not seraphs. It's a different species, pretty much. But it's like getting at reptilians by killing them with lizard venom. It's a play. Y'all can't see that? Y'all can't see the spiritual ramifications behind that at all? Whew. I said, that's a cold play. And I told that angel, I said, you cruel. You cruel to motherfucker. I would have never thought of nothing like that. Nor would I care enough. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't care enough. And they was like, I know. That's why we had to step up, because your motherfucking ass, you an enabler. You're enabling. Like, fuck this stuff. And so it's a crash out. Now, all that thunder and all, I'm like, damn. But yeah, those who practice in that vanity, they say, okay, nature take care of the one that overeat, but how you gonna take care of the one that like to hide they bullshit because they skinny and they try to hide it. Like, nah, you a crazy motherfucker too. Look at you. And they go, and that's not health too. They trying to show you, just because someone is skinny don't mean they healthy. For an angel, that would be like taking them type of shots is inherently not of good health. That's not an action that gets good health. Like, obviously eating healthier, just being mindful of what you eat and exercising a little bit or a lot, however you want to do it, and eating fruits and veggies and shit like that to them would be good health. And so someone that's willing to take a shot for vanity and to take lizard poison and venom, you are not healthy. That is the antithesis of good health. That's not a good, healthy practice either. And most of the people that's taking it is already skinny, so you are not healthy. And that, just like how a big person meet they comeuppance from their poor choices, a skinny person, just because they're skinny, don't mean they're healthy. And that's what that angel also told me. He said, yeah, it's one thing where, nature take care of that. But what about these motherfuckers that they doing things that are actually antithesis of health, but they get to trick people into making it seem like they're healthy because of a body weight. And they said, no, you're about to show y'all how psychotic this shit is. These people is injecting themselves and killing themselves slowly with a lizard venom. And they can't call it a synthetic. I don't know. It's like they can label certain things natural flavors, but is it really natural? No. Just like to study it. It's like they call something artificial. What would make something artificial? What makes something organic? The laws are weird here. So you have to think about that type of stuff. Nonetheless, when someone say they want to turn with an angel class or a chieftains, because chieftains are like Nagas and Netters, those are hybrids. They could be fallen angels. Some of them are not. Some of them are just interdimensional beings, we'll say, like how Moses was. Moses, Noah, that whole bloodline, those are angelic bloodlines. If they say, we turning you over to Satan, especially somebody from the order of Melchizedek or a priesthood, spiritual priesthoods, like order of Melchizedek is a spiritual priesthood. It's a bloodline priesthood too, and it's angelic. If someone says that, now Paul's from Sanhedrin, he's not order of Melchizedek. That's why I think he was trying to, I think he was a little jealous of Yeshua. That's just me. That's what I think. When someone say that, they turning you over to Satan, just like how Moses was like, y'all ain't never entering my rest. I'm turning y'all over to Satan. It's harsh because there is a prince of this world. And there is a prince of this world, the illusion, the adversary. And now some people say that is designed, the Luciferian potentiator designed to teach a lesson. The Satan version is not, though. That's kill, steal, and destroy. And I'm just letting y'all know. And obsession with mind control. And so if someone, that means that you're losing angelic protection. That means you're losing the protection of the Most High, or they have put out a court case on you. They went and filed a spiritual court case on your ass in the heavenly courts. And they have asked God to write them off. They tried to do it. It's all throughout the, I could bring up examples of this. And another angel, a lot of people don't know that, I don't know if I'm going to break all that down yet. I'm not. But anyways, when someone say that, that is dark times is ahead, run for cover. Or maybe you check yourself and you got to go to God and petition God and say no. I'm aware that there's a warrant out for my arrest, or I'm aware that there's a court case against me. And no, because they did that to me too. So I'm not judging people. I mean, they did this to me multiple times. People was been saying, turn her over to say, and it kept getting blocked. Because they didn't know shit. They didn't read the Bible properly. And really, like, it was under the guise of jealousy, but acting like she needs to learn a lesson. But it was under the guise of some other weird shit that they trying to, some weird, they have some of these people, no. But, so if you heard somebody say that to you or allude to something like that to you, make sure, I won't say make sure, but you can petition and undo that court case, or, you could develop your relationship with the Most High pretty much. And you can alleviate a lot of that spiritual malediction. However, if it is a chieftain and an angel and they make that call, it's usually for a good reason. They normally, rarely would do that unless there is nothing that they can do to help them people. Nothing they say, nothing they do, nothing they have done matters or works or merits anything, then you don't need to protect you. What are you protecting them for? What are you fighting for them for? Why are you protecting them? Why are you defending them? There's nothing there. You're not going to get the emotional support. You expect that. You're not going to get the monetary support. You expect that. But when you start getting spiritually deficit, disrespect, people disrespecting you and trying to kill you at the same time, and you're telling the truth, and what you're saying is correct, and do you see them? Nah, That's that at that point, you have to turn them over to Satan. You have to just walk away, let them do their thing. And you know that they're going to learn the lessons. You know what they're going to go through. And it's just life. It's just life. It's like we all have to learn our lessons. People, like I said, people have done that to me. Turn her over, and they hope. You have to be careful, because God check some of these people in 2022 and in 2023, because they was trying to do it with the hopes that Satan kill me, because they had undermined, and they got checked. They know it, and I know that they got checked. You weren't just trying to do that because this girl was just doing something so horrific. She was just so unruly. Oh my gosh. No, in 2020 and 2021, when them people came for me, that was designed for, like, let's just hope Satan killed her. So they was removing protection off of me with the hope that, and every time it would fail. It was. Every time they would move in it, they would remove it, because it's a priesthood. So if a priesthood decide they done with you and they turn you over to Satan, good luck. Now you got God too. God is the overall judge of this. So they had to realize that, and they had to teach them angels that too, that was down here doing that. They lost a lot of rank behind that group. And not all angels, I'm just saying that particular group that thought it was okay to just be in error, not decode the Bible properly, not read all of the Bible, and just be judging based off their own little weird ass vendetta, some bullshit. And hoping that, because they know how to do kinetic energy transfer, so they was hoping that my gifts would get removed off of me and go to them, that particular angel. And they don't think I know that, but I know that. We got into it. I think I probably have a recording of them not admitting to it, but screaming, going crazy, like just irrational ass shit. See, God knows they heart, and like we said, they up on spiritual crimes. They try to commit murder. Just because you can hide it from the public because you in some occult weird shit don't mean God don't see it. They are charged with attempted murder. Just so you know. And again, I'm not the only person that go through this. So You know, if you know that someone has done that to you, sometimes you get attacked from both sides. You'll get attacked from the Satan minions, and you'll get attacked by these Christians. You'll get attacked by the occultists, and you'll get attacked by Christians. And I had an angel tell me, you're getting attacked by both sides. You have to pick a side. You have to figure out something else. Figure out something, because you're getting attacked by both sides. Now, luckily, something bigger is protecting you, but you're getting banged on. And I'm like, damn. Well, you know, I think both sides are, as far as what's on this planet, I'm not really impressed with either one, but whatever. I'm not going to choose religion. I'm not going to choose that botched ass occult shit either. I'm going to choose the equation of Yeshua and the kingdom of God and the Most High and Shekinah glory and the primordial mother and the primordial spirit of melanin. Okay? Which is what the Most High teaches. Most High God and the equations of Yeshua in the story. And my protection of my ancestors in the angel kingdom that I know has been watching over me. That's it. And the sciences of the earth-based things that are just natural, things that are logical, things that are universal, things that are cosmic. That's all I care about. I don't care about none of this bullshit I got going on out here. The Satan and the devil's fighting, and they gonna do this, and I don't get into all of that. But that's y'all thing. That's y'all program. I was told this is the program. This is the program. Don't come down here trying to teach all this highfalutin shit. This is the program. That's it. So what can I do? It's interesting and fascinating to look through things, though, and to remember things, and to refresh memory. Like I've been looking, I said, oh, it's an archaic version of things, but it's like, wow, you know, like this is interesting, you know, reading the Bible and stuff. But nonetheless, I'll say we have to just be aware of how our energy is getting spent. Please watch out for these energy harvesters, these psyops, because they don't give you a proper solution to the response or the reaction long term. So we're gonna say it's like time looping, and so you have to break that pattern. It's a spell. It's a curse. Oh, somebody gets shot by the police. Oh, the white boys did this again. Oh, did this black? No, notice y'all only get riled up over these black. Yeah, it's never a black woman. A black woman just got lynched. No, not a peep. No Ben Crump nowhere. Lynched. No Ben Crump. Nobody come out. Nothing. But it's only with black men. So you see that secret society of males. You see what they're doing to you, and then they come and they want you to donate, and they bring out celebrity, or they bring out the Mason. You know, and so just wake up and realize, as a community, we on our own. Grassroots got to do this on our own. Stop thinking you're going to join them people. Never join. Don't take an oath. I'm telling you, it's not what you think it is. And their job is to try to make it, clean it up. Since we come out with Esteem, and since we've been banging on their motherfucking ass since 2022, we blasted their ass. We exposed a lot of this shit. They've been trying to clean it up and make it, no, it ain't this, but who they copying? Come on. Who are they copying? So now you got to pay attention between light and false light. Agendas, motives, outcomes, intentions, patterns. Do you follow the copycatter or the original? You have to answer that yourself. Why would you follow a copycatter? It's something you had to answer yourself. Are they genuine? They may have more resources in the physical, but do they got resources in the spiritual? Can they come up with something creative and solution-oriented that gets you out of your situation? This is serious. I have caught these people plagiarizing this recently as last month. I'm like, y'all are getting weird. But you have to, it's not about who you follow. It's just about setting up the infrastructure at this point. The infrastructure is more important. The principles and the mission and the vision is more important at this time. And the visions have to actually, even a vision of unity, you have to come out with a whole framework of how you're going to get unity too. It never exists in the lower worlds. The lower worlds are racism, sexism, and all that. You don't get unity like that. You don't get unity trauma bonding. Or for someone who's, the black pain, or you killed the black man. You're not going to get unity that way. These are low. The frequencies of the lower level do not exist where unity is at. Unity is even above the level of joy. And so that's how you know that. I'm telling you what I know I learned from an angel myself. You don't get unity in the lower worlds. You have to build a framework to get up to the higher worlds. And you don't jump from racism and sexism straight up to unity. You have to go through the levels of the frequencies. Unity is a higher frequency than joy, believe it or not, and peace. And so we don't even have peace. We don't. We may have joy, but we don't even have peace. We don't even have courage. So you're not getting to unity from that. That's the world beyond forms. So we have to create that. You have to, now we can, I'm not saying that we're not going to get it. I'm just saying like you have to, there will be demarcations from people who don't want unity, and people that are racist don't want unity. You won't be in that world. You won't live around them. You see what I'm saying? Like you would have to develop a parallel infrastructure. You wouldn't be around people who practice racism. You wouldn't be bigging up a government system. You wouldn't be idolizing weirdos. Like you would be getting rid of thought forms first. Even the ideas of peace you would transcend before getting to unity. That's at the level. I don't want to talk about everything that I know, but I'm saying like when you hear black people saying that, and it's like, what does that mean? Just get along with a bunch of sexists? You can't have sexism and unity. It doesn't exist. That's not unity. You're asking someone to parasite off of. Someone is at a deficit because you just forcing you're forcing groupthink. It's cult mentality. And unity doesn't exist in those type of, a cult is not the same as unity. Everybody just thinking the same and don't question nothing. That's not unity. Especially when it's at the expense of black women. Black women just got lynched, not a peep. So that's how you know they're not going to get into unity, because like nobody even cares about you. Even your own people don't even care about you. How you going to get unity with a group of people that don't even care about each other? They're killing and stealing and fucking each other over, blacklisting each other, jealous of each other, crabbing a barrel towards each other. What unity is you going to get? Oh, we just all just going to unite magically because someone said it? It's never going to happen. You see the Moors and the Hebrews fighting. NOI is fighting. I came with the framework. Nakhti Queen Mothership eliminates all of that fighting from between Moors, NOI, all this stuff. Well, I don't even call it NOI, but black Muslims. Because not every black Muslim is a part of the Nation of Islam. You know? And so the black Muslims are fighting. The Moors now, Moor Science Temple. Are y'all silly at a time like this? That's a psyop. That's a curse. How the fuck is y'all as men fighting and you see what these people are doing to your people, Heritage Foundation and Trump and all that? And maybe that's the puppet behind it, but they got stuff they really want. They don't have anything good for you. That's not just a script or a stage. Like, they don't give a fuck about you. And the only thing you can do is fight. The nation, black Muslims fighting Moor Science Temple, but they both Muslims. How stupid are you? Hebrews fighting whoever. You know, I don't believe in all of that. I don't. American Indians fighting the blacks that say African American, or ADOS fighting. I don't believe in all of that. But I also don't believe in throwing shit under the rug when y'all don't have a plan. There's no structure on how to get unity. We come up with the arranged marriage program. Y'all shitted on me. We come with interest in melanism. Y'all shitted on it. These are structures. If the government said military science, we want you to teach that this interest in melanism shit should be in our military. Why would y'all scold it and ignore it? It doesn't make any sense. For money. And they told me, we just want money. We don't care about none of that shit you're talking about. We just want money. And God made the judgment on that. I didn't make the judgment on that. When y'all called my phone, when them boule niggas called my phone in 2023, said, we just want money. Tell us how we gonna get money, or shut up. Okay. And I did say, I'm sticking to my priesthood. At that time, I didn't know. I said, well, I thought we were doing, I wanted to work with an internship. Can I work for an internship and still stick to what it was, but helping black Americans? I have the text messages for this stuff. I said, I sought out the internship to help black Americans. I thought that's what it was doing. No, it was about contracts and deals. And like, I don't even know any, I don't understand it, but I could tell instantly that the being I was talking to was Lucifer. It come off as a boule, big shot, but instantly I knew I knew we were talking, but we weren't. It's like your higher self is talking to the spirit inside that person, right? And I said, what? And I said, I just wanted to do the, we're supposed to be coming up with something for, I didn't ask for all of that. I didn't ask for all that. And then I didn't ask to do the internship for you. I asked for internship for another woman, black woman, who said that she was helping Black Americans, and she put him in, said, do the internship for him, another black man. So I said, okay, I got excited. I was like, okay, I finally get to help Black Americans. And that was not what that was. It was about something with contracts. And it wasn't real. It was like someone getting frustrated because they wanted something deeper. And I felt that. Someone write about this. I'm not even writing about this. And I knew. But when he said, they just want money. They just want, and I had felt it. It was a spirit speaking to me. Like, they don't care about none of that stuff you're talking about. They just want money. And I saw that, and I didn't quite understand it, but I do remember, I do have the text message saying, well, I'm just going to continue with my priesthood. Because at that time, my soul understood deeper, and I know I'm in the order of Melchizedek, so I knew that, oh, they trying to get me to, and I said, well, I'm not, I don't know about that type of stuff. So I just said, well, I just do my priesthood stuff. But I did ask if I could still do the internship for Black Americans. But he never got back to me because that was like, oh, that's it. No, it was never really about that, dude. We don't give a fuck about no Black Americans. We want money. And that was really sad, And that was very traumatizing, too. It was really, really traumatizing. Because it's like now you realize that you just wasted so much of your time and life thinking about something that nobody ever actually cares about. It's not designed to actually solve any solutions or problems. And when you have an innovative mind, that it can be very hurtful. It can be very, to realize that you have amazing ideas and people know they're amazing. It's just like, no, we serve Satan and we just want money. So shut the fuck up. That's all it's about. And so if you notice, since 2022, nothing's been the same. Since 2023, nothing's been the same. And what you see now and today in this fucking planet is the response for a motherfucker saying some shit like that to me. This is the response globally, what you see, these heat waves, this, that. Oh, this economy, these gas prices, this inflation. That's the response to the motherfucking boule for coming to me and saying some fucking shit like that. That you just want money. Well, okay, you just want money then. You don't want nothing else. You said you wanted money. Go use that crypto shit. Go use that. And God told me, oh, okay. I ain't saying nothing else. You gonna come into my motherfucking phone and say some bullshit like that. We just want money, so we don't care about nothing else you talking about. Oh, really? Well, the response equation-wise, based on what you told me, you just want money, is what you see in this world today in 2026 playing out. Of people that just want money. Well, that's what you get. Don't blame me. Blame them boule niggas. Don't blame me. The boule said y'all just wanted money. And I can get the fuck on. Well, you just want money. And so you see the deterioration since 2020. It's an equation. Yes. Then you guys actually get these, you see them out there on the whole stroll for money. You see everybody got to go perform like monkeys. Everybody got to go. You see them manipulating the stock market. You see, they scrambling for what? Money. We told y'all to go to a post-money society. My mind is at a post-money society, guys. I remember some of the folks at Columbia University. One of them went to Stanford. She was a venture capitalist, and she looked at me. She said, she looked at my project I was working on. She said, you're not even thinking about the money aspect of this. She's like, do you know what you have here? That was the $1 trillion invention with the AI stuff. You're not even thinking of like, oh, the money. It's like, she was like, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, in their mind, everybody's like, money. Like, how you you just came up with this shit on you. Just cause you're in the projects. I'm in the projects drinking. What you working on, Jenny? I'm working on the Rainus, the AI invention aggregation system using NVIDIA GPUs that's gonna show us how to invent without inventing. What the fuck is wrong with you? You sit up there in a project building in Harlem. Go to Columbia University, sitting your ass, drinking, just typing away. What would I like to see in my mind's eye? That's all it was, guys. That's all it was. But they was looking like, this girl didn't realize what the fuck she got. And I remember she said that. She said, you creating for creating's sake. You're not even thinking about, like, the money aspect. You at the level. She showed me that Abraham Maslow's chart. She said, you right here at this level where you know how to produce value with ideas for the sake of changing society and not just wanting the money. Now, it's not that I didn't want money. I just wasn't thinking about it. That's the difference. I'm not thinking about it. It's not that I don't, we all need, it's like, you don't want money. No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to be poor. What I'm saying is, like, I'm not thinking about that. And when it comes to creating ideas and innovating, it comes secondary to me. It's not that I don't think that I should have it or that it won't come. I just think that the rawness of creation and perfecting an idea comes from a space where you're not competing against people, where you're not competitive because it is in a different state. You're not thinking about what you're going to get, a reward or punishment, for one. You're not thinking of reward or punishment. You're not thinking of what someone else did or how you can do it better. So there's no competition spirit or jealousy spirit. It's coming from, what would be cool to see? To be honest, it's things like, and for me, it's like, that'd be cute. Or what would be cool? That's literally it. Like, even though I'm 34 years old, I kind of have like a mind of a kid in some regards. And it's kind of like, that would be cute. Like, even with the Nakhti philosophy, that would be cute. That would be cool. That's literally the process behind creating a lot of things. The Nakhti Queen Mothership. What would I like to see Black Americans have? That would be cool. And that's it. Like, there's nothing, there's no elaborate. But nonetheless, I want to give encouragement to people at this time that the inner peace is what we striving for. A lot of us have that. Some of us working towards that on our path there. And so that's key. And we have to be aware that some of these stories is messing up our inner peace. Some of them stories with all that, they shot little John, they done threw his body. What the fuck are we going to do? What are you going to actually do in your life about that? And if collectively you're not going to build a parallel infrastructure, what the fuck are you worried about it for? You're not going to build a parallel infrastructure. What are you going to do? You're not going to march. If you're not going to build a parallel infrastructure, what the fuck are you worried about that? And that's to them stupid ass Masons that keep throwing these psyops at us. I'm tired of y'all shit. Y'all messing up these people. They don't need to be worried about that shit. What the hell? If they're not worried, if they're not going to focus on, hey, let's actually do some trades, let's get some skills. Let's get together. Let's do, if nothing else, let's just start up a, secret militia. Let's do this whatever this chick is talking about, some damn QM defense. Let's just implement, at least, let's just see. Let's just do one block for now. Shit. she herping on her back. Black man, she nagging. She ran. What is she nagging about? Let's just try to implement one little book that she got. Motherfucker still talking all these years later. And maybe she knows something. Maybe they probably won't. But let's be real. If you're not gonna have a proper logical response to police state terrorism or racism, then why would anybody care about that? It's not a give up spirit. It's not a self-defeated spirit. It's just that there's clearly a psyop going on. If the celebrities and the government and these lawyers and these black boule niggas is not doing anything worthwhile to combat these type of situations that happen over and over and over again, why do you expect grassroots to give a fuck about y'all or care about it? We lose one of our own. The proper response is to be able to protect our own and to build to protect our own. Not march, not donate to being crunk, not watch a show, not watch, celebrity is covering the cost, guys. See how much he cares about Black America. Does he really? Like, what are we doing? This shit is so embarrassing. Like, I'll be like, man, like, I think at the level of empire. So I'm sorry, guys. Like, I still look, I'm gonna tell y'all this. And y'all can say, okay, maybe I'm realistic. I still look at the Negro. I see the Negro through the lens of a very high level. So obviously, black people that we grew up knowing and loving. That's how I didn't know how bad the state, like I did until 2022 that shit happened to me. I always look at Negro through, let's say like Ida B. Wells, like Booker T. Washington. Like this is like, if I see the average black person, I'm looking at them through, it's like the program over my mind when it comes to how I see them, especially like, with certain pedigrees of black people. I'm looking at them instantly in the eyes of our ancestors, like a James Baldwin, Pharaoh Sanders, just good, Paul Robinson, Leroy Jones. I'm looking at them in a very positive light. Not necessarily activists, but intelligence too. Like Leroy Jones had a brilliant mind. Now people have some suspicions about Huey P. Newton, but he did have a brilliant mind too. Like are they saying that they said they caught him doing something funny? But I don't know about all that. I don't know about any scandal with Huey P. Newton. But his mind is brilliant, or it was. I think of the brilliance. That don't necessarily mean activism or fighting or nothing like that. I'm just thinking of brilliance, light. When I think of black Americans, I'm thinking of that. So I kind of had it, my bubble has been getting burst continuously. I'm not saying you guys are not brilliant. I do still think that. But I'm saying like, it's been humbling experience to realize that, just like how India Arie said, it was truly a rude awakening. How she said that she realized that there's a huge faction of our people that's just gone. Like they don't care about nothing, none of, culture and community like they claim they do. And how she said it was a rude awakening for her to realize that, and they have to accept that. That's the same thing that's been happening to me over and over again since probably since I was 19, but really since 2020. Honestly, even when it comes to like when I was really big up Africa and all those things, having to get my bubble burst constantly, going around Africans and getting shit on, like you just get your bubble burst constantly. You just be like, yo, why did you? It's the dangers of putting people on a pedestal. It's that's the dangers of putting people on a pedestal and not seeing nuance and being able to challenge us on some of our flaws and things that we do collectively that's not benefiting us. I know they don't like to. Black people don't like you to talk about that stuff, but that is the key to actually creating that schism that we need, so us to see who's with us or who's against us. Seriously, and that goes beyond race, because it's a frequency, and we just want to deal with us at a higher frequency, and we have to be aware of those frequencies, and to be honest, be unapologetic about getting away from the frequencies that's not of that. It has been affecting us. They throw out them psyops, we get all sad and depressed, and oh man, like then nothing happens. So now we at a deficit, focusing on a play that other people is eating off of, making money off of. They making money off them YouTube videos. The lawyer comes out, they making money. The GoFundMe come out, and then all the other grassroots black Americans, we at a deficit because we don't got sad. We don't went out marching. Motherfuckers done got on a list and all that stuff. Like, nah, man, y'all on some bullshit. Y'all ain't doing nothing to actually help this community. You told me to my fucking face that y'all took the oath to keep the Negro down. And I see a lot of these same people trying to act pro-black and act like they helping the black community. And so I'm sick of this shit. I really am. So I would encourage the grassroots youth to think more of on that level of inner peace, joy, to be honest, and creation for creation's sake. So if you got inventions, protect your ideas, protect your identity, protect your energy, and think of if you want to do music and things, think of how you can procure your sound, own your masters. Get into joy, get into just creating that parallel infrastructure. That's all I'm asking. Even if it's just one block, 5 people, 10 people, that's all I ask. And people say, why don't you go out there and do it yourself? Well, I've been trying to. And I haven't stopped. I've been slowed down a lot, but I haven't stopped. I take it day by day. And I see the world for what it is. And, at this point, you can't make any excuses for it. You just have to take it day by day is all the fuck I have to say. And you really have to start, for me, I have to start with myself. And so that's where I'm at. Like, when we talk about Nakhti Order, Nakhti Queen Mothership, Nakhti Order, spirit-wise, I'm loaded spirit. I'm loaded with Black American spirits. Loaded. It's loaded. But not just Black American spirits, spirits in general. Spirits of whole emperors, spirits of pharaohs, spirits of angels. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of shit. and so you know, that's what it is for me, working on my own energy. And I'm here, but I'm not going to sit up here and be at a spiritual deficit, knowing that what I see in this community and knowing they devalue people, devalue women especially, and they act like they don't, but they'll go pick up someone that's mirroring and mimicking me, that's a part of their cult, you know, that's trying to mimic me, and they'll go and prop that up, and it'll be half-assed, and you know, it's designed to get you back in that system. And then they'll say pro-Black or independent. You're not independent if you're in a fraternity or a sorority. That's not independent. That's not Black independence. And Black people have to realize that too. Don't be tricked by that when people tell you that they Black independent and all that. You know they ain't part of them sororities, or you know they're part of them groups. You know that somebody can pull their collar. Now, if y'all all joined them people, then tell me that. So I'll be quiet about it. Like if y'all all was like, yo, we all decided to take the oath, and we made our bed in it or whatever. We told you we wanted just money, and we meant that. We told you that that's what we wanted. And so, you know, when we found that out, that's what we decided to go do. Then I'll eat that. Nonetheless, let me get the hell up off of here. And let me get up off of here. You guys be easy. Take care. Love you. Bye.